Welcome, everybody, to Sunday Morning Gentle. We're going to start this morning on our belly, if that's comfortable to you. All right, so you'll just lie on your belly. You can crisscross your arms in front of you. Let that forehead come to your wrists. If that's not comfortable, maybe you come into little cactus arms, let your head come down, or you can sweep your hands back behind you. If you're absolutely not comfortable here on your belly, then you can come to a child's pose or onto your back. One of the great things about being on the belly as we open is you can really start to feel your breath right from the very beginning. Because it's filling and emptying as you breathe, even though you're not controlling your breath yet, right? But you can feel that belly pressing into the mat. As you feel the breath, you can feel it contracting as you let that breath go. So notice that. Notice everything about your breath. Let your breath guide you, ground you to your mat. Let it take over. Push all those other distractions out. That's what we want here, right? Just start to feel the breath starting to arrive on our mat. Once you feel like you've got that full focus on your breath, add the element of control to your breath. Just breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Let your breaths become longer, slower, and deeper. As you're doing this right, you really start to feel it in your belly. Right? Because if you're really filling that belly all the way, pulling that breath all the way down to your diaphragm, you will feel yourself kind of puff up as you take that inhale and sink down as you take that exhale. Let that breath kick in here. A few more rounds. And then when you're ready here, you're going to pull your hands back to your chest. Push yourself up and back. Come into child's pose. So now you're pushing your heels over, or your hips over your heels. Your arms are nice and long. Right, just take a breath here. What we're going to do from here, we're going to start to walk over to the right. So walk your hands over to the right. So you're kind of got your hands on either side of your right knee. Maybe your head's lifting off the mat. That's okay, right? If you can, lift your left hand up. Put it on top of your right. And then kind of push the mat away from you with that right hand. So you're pushing your left heel, or left hip, sorry, back towards your left heel. And you're feeling that opening through your left side body. Just take 2 breaths here. And then walk it back around to center. And then start to walk it all the way over to the left. And take that right hand, maybe put it on top of the left. Push that right hip back forward to right heel. And then from there, bring it back to center. All right, this time as we inhale, we're gonna come up into tabletop. So just pull yourself up, shoulders over the wrist, hips over the knees. Hand shoulder width distance apart, knees hip width distance apart. All right, take a couple cat-cows. Inhale, lift your chin up to the sky, tuck your tailbone under, let your belly drop. Exhale, tuck your chin to your chest, round out your back, hollow your armpits. Just keep moving here. We inhale to cow. That's when you lift the chest, tuck the tailbone, drop the belly. Exhale, tuck the chin, round the back, arch through the back for that cat. All right, so take a few rounds here. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cat. And just move with your own breath, right? You don't have to be going as slow as me. You don't have to be going as fast as me. Finding the rhythm of your breath and match your movements to it. Take a few more rounds like that. Now let's meet back in neutral tabletop. And then as we come to neutral tabletop, you're just gonna kind of shift your hips back and forth, back and forth. Get into them a little bit more. All right, now come back to your regular tabletop. We're gonna tuck the toes under here. Lift your hips up and back. Come in to your first down dog of the morning. As your movement here, if you want to, you can bend one knee, then the other, walking the dog. Maybe you're gonna sway your hips from side to side. And then from there, bend your knees, look between your thumbs. Bring your feet forward to your hands. Come to forward fold. Belly touching the upper thighs, heavy and long. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. Make sure there's no creases in the back of your neck. Now, as we inhale here, we're going to take a half lift into monkey. Pull your shoulders even with your hips. And then as you exhale, fold back down, belly to thighs. This time as you inhale, big reverse swan dive, come all the way up to standing, right? Now, we're not doing our sun salutations yet, but I do want you to take one side bend each way here. Just drop your right hand to your right side and reach that left hand up and over. Right? It's a little different format today. Inhale, come back to center. As you exhale, you're going to drop your left hand. Reach that right hand up and over. Inhale, come back to center. And then from here, right, as you exhale, pull your hands to heart center. And then you're going to lift your heels. You're going to lower yourself all the way down until you're sitting down on the mat, right? If you got to drop your hands, drop your hands. If you can do it without dropping your hands, do it without dropping your hands, right? Now, once we're here, you're sitting, you're going to let yourself come all the way down to your back. So you're going to raise yourself a little bit. All right, I'm going to turn sideways here so you all can see. All right, so now we're laying down on our back. Take your knees, hug them into your chest. And then from there, you're going to let your arms go out long, like wings in that T position. Drop your knees to the right as you look to the left. Inhale, pull your knees back to center. Exhale, drop your knees to the left, look to the right. Inhale, pull your knees back to center. Now, this time as we exhale, you're going to drop your feet down to the mat. Take your hands to your sides, palms face down. Right? We're going to lift into bridge 3 times. So it's just a gentle bridge, and it's with the breath, so it's quick, right? We inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, let them float back down. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, float them back down. Do it one more time. So inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Now, from here, your knees are going to come back into your chest. You're going to rock yourself up to seated. So you can take your hands to the crease of your knees. You're going to rock up. As you come up, you're going to land in a bound ankle, right? You don't have to flip around. I just did. So I'm facing you guys, right? So now we're here in this bound ankle, soles of the feet together. Take your hands, reach them up to the sky. And then from there, just fold forward. Bring those hands as far in front of your feet as you can. Maybe that's not very far at all, right? We're going to do this a couple times, so you'll get a little warmer. You'll be able to go a little deeper next time. Now, sweep your right hand back behind your right hip. Take your left hand outside your right knee. Look over your right shoulder. All right, and then switch out your hands. Sweep that left hand all the way around until it's back behind your hip. Bring your right hand outside your left knee. Look over your left shoulder. And then from there, come back around to center. reach your hands up to the sky, and then put your feet on the ground, right? Reach forward, and then tuck your chin, lay all the way back down. Right, so that's our whole little sun salutation today, right? We're gonna do it twice more. Moving it a little faster, moving it with our breath. So you're lying down, your feet are on the ground, pull your knees into your chest, you can hug them in, right? And then release your arms to T position. We twist to the right, dropping the knees right, looking left. We inhale it back to center. We twist to the left, dropping the knees left, looking right. Inhale, pull your knees back up to center. As we exhale, hands or feet drop to the ground, hands come to the sides. And then we do this through bridges. So you inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Do it one more time. Lift and lower. And then hug your knees into your chest. Rock it up to your bound ankles, so soles of the feet together. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Sweep your hands around. Right hand back behind you. Left hand outside your right knee. Twist to the right. Switch your hands. Twist to the left. Back around. Reach your hands back up to the sky. Put your feet flat on the ground. Reach forward. Tuck your chin. And then come all the way back down. All right, as we come back down, now your knees head back into your chest. We're going to do one more time. Let your arms go out to a T. Drop your knees right, look left. Pull your knees up to center. Drop your knees left, look right. Pull your knees back up to center. And then from there, drop your feet to the ground. Sweep your hands to your sides. Lift up into your bridges 3 times. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower. Do it one more time. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower. And then from there, you're going to take your knees into your chest, rock it up into your bound ankles, soles of the feet together. Sweep your hands up to the sky, reach up high, fold forward. Come to your twist, sweep your right hand back behind you, left hand outside your right knee. Switch your hands, left hand back behind you, right hand outside your left knee. And twist, rise back up, bring your feet to the ground, reach forward, and then roll it all the way back down. All right, hug your knees into your chest one more time. All right, we're gonna rock up again here. All right, rock up. And then this time as you rock up and you're just in this hook line position, let your knees fall around and then come back around into tabletop. All right, once you're in tabletop, you're gonna tuck your toes under again, lift back up into down dog. And then walk it forward into forward fold. Take your half lift here into monkey, shoulders even with the hips. Then fold back down. Now this time as we inhale, we're gonna come into chair. So you're gonna bend your knees, send your hips back and down, bring your hands to heart center, right? But look down, set it up really quick. Just make sure you can see your toes and wiggle your toes. You've got your hips way back behind your knees aren't covering your toes and your weight's all in your heels so you can wiggle your toes. Now we're gonna twist here to the right. So you're gonna bring that left elbow towards the right knee, right? Opening your chest towards the right side of the room. Maybe you can get that left elbow on top of the right knee, maybe it's inside the right knee, maybe you can hook it over. Wherever you are here, open up your arms. Let those left fingertips reach towards the ground. Take your right hand up to the sky. All right? And then as you inhale, now you're gonna rise up. You're gonna straighten out your legs, pull up your torso. Your right hand is gonna wrap behind your back. Your left hand is gonna reach up and over your right shoulder. You're gonna look over your right shoulder. There we go. Now, from here, you're gonna sweep it back around. You're gonna land back in chair with your hands at heart center. So let's do that the other way. Take your left elbow over towards your right elbow, towards your left knee. So you're in this prayer twist here. And then wherever you ended up, let your arms open. Right fingertips go towards the ground, left fingertips go towards the sky. We straighten out the legs, left arm wraps behind the back, right arm reaches up and over. So you're reaching those right fingertips over your left shoulder, looking to the left. So we're spiraling to the left. All right, and then from here, one more time, we're gonna land it back in chair, hands at heart center. Just take one deep inhale here in your chair. And then as you exhale, straighten your legs, drop your hands to the mat, come to forward fold. Take a half lift again to monkey here. Pull your shoulders even with your hips. And then fold back down. Now as you fold down here, you're going to keep your right foot forward. Step your left foot way back behind you. Come in to your runner's lunge. Right knee right over the right ankle, left leg nice and long. Now for this first part, we're going to drop down to the right knee. Going to the left knee. With the right foot flattened. Left foot flattened. You've got your right knee right over your right ankle. I was just talking earlier about how I messed up left and right last Saturday. Now I'm doing it again, right? You've got your right knee over your right ankle. Your left knee is down, but your left knee is back behind your left hip. And your left foot is flat. We're going to rise up here into our kneeling crescent. So you're just going to sweep your hands up to the sky, right? And then drop your arms into cactus arms. Make sure you're going to bend your elbows. Open that chest. Take a little back bend here. Lean back. Take your chin, your gaze up to the ceiling. All right? Then you're going to inhale. Come back up tall. Reach your arms up high. As you exhale, straighten out your right leg. Drop your hands on either side of your right foot. Your right toes flip up off the mat. And you fold over your right leg into your half pyramid. Square your hips off here. Draw that right hip a little more forward. Push that left hip a little more back. So you feel this in your right hamstring. All right, now we're going to come forward here. Bend back into your right knee. Okay. Put your hands on either side of the right foot. We're going to hop up off that left knee now. So tuck your left toes under. Go up off your left knee. And then we're going to come to a twisted lunge. So you're going to plant your left hand on the inside of your right foot. Take your right hand up to the sky. Just twist to the right. Stack your shoulders, open your chest. Now let that right hand come down. Your left heel is going to drop. Right, we're just going to rise up here into a warrior one. Okay, so you're just lifting up instead of that deep bend in your right knee. Your hips are square towards the front of the room. Now we're going to come into eagle arms here. So your arms go out to a T position. And as they come in front of you, I want you to cross your left arm underneath your right. And then wrap up. You could just be grabbing opposite shoulders. You could be back of palm to back of palm. Or it could be full palm to palm. Whatever works for you. Right, wherever you are here. Push that right leg all the way straight. And then take your elbows up towards the ceiling. Pull them away from your body. Look up. So in this little back bend. Now, as we come back down, you're going to bend back into your right knee. You're going to keep the eagle arms. Come to full humble warrior. Bring your right shoulder towards the inside of your right knee. It doesn't matter if it doesn't get all the way to the inside. Maybe it's hovering somewhere above the right knee, and that's okay, right? But let your head go look back at your left toes. And then once you're all the way down in that humble warrior, unwrap your arms. Just drop them in front of your, or on the inside of your right foot. Push your right leg straight again. Let your right toes turn towards the left side of the room. Walk yourself around into a wide forward fold. You're facing the balls over there. If you're here in the studio. You're just facing the left side of the room. If you're at home, wherever that is for you. Now, plant your right hand in the center of the mat. And just take your left hand up to the sky. Twist open towards the left side of the room. Let that left hand come down. And then from there, you're going to walk it back around towards your right foot. Into a runner's lunge, right? So bend into that right knee. Keep your left heel down. And then you're going to rise up now. As you rise up, take your right arm, wrap it around behind your back. Take your left arm, reach it over your right shoulder. Okay, so just like we did earlier, when we were in those, coming out of those chairs, right? Except now we're in a little lunge. There you go. That'll look good. Now, we're going to straighten out the right leg here. Curl your arms around. You're going to drop yourself down into pyramids. That just means you're going to let your hands land on the mat. Bring your belly over your right thigh. If you need to shorten your stance here and step that left foot in closer to get both legs straight, you can. Right? Or you can take it longer if you need to. Now, from here, we're going to lift up halfway. You're going to keep your legs where they are, right? Pull your shoulders even with your hips. And then sweep your hands back behind you. See if you can, maybe just grab and interlace your hands. Maybe grab opposite elbows. Maybe go to full namaste, right, with your palms touching each other. And then once you're there, fold back down into pyramid, right? Now your hands are off the mat. Take a breath. And then just release your hands, drop them to the mat on either side of your right foot. Look up and just step your left foot forward to meet your right. Back to your forward fold. All right, we're going to do all that one more time on the left side. All right, so we're going to start again with those chairs. You're going to bend your knees, send your hips back and down. Pull the upper body up, reach your hands to heart center. All right, because we're on the left side, we're going to twist to the left first. So bring your right elbow towards your left knee. Take that prayer twist lunge, whatever that looks like for you. Then you're gonna drop your right fingertips towards the ground. Take your left fingertips up to the sky. Right, so we're here in this open arm twist. Now we straighten the legs, lift the torso, let your left arm wrap behind your back. Take your right arm, reach it up and over your left shoulder. Look over your left shoulder. So we're spiraling. Now your arms are gonna swim around here. They're gonna come back to heart center, and you're gonna drop yourself back into chair. As we come back to chair, now you're gonna bring your left elbow over towards your right knee. And then open up your arms here. Left fingertips towards the ground, right fingertips to the sky. And then come all the way up, straighten your legs, wrap your right arm around your back, take your left fingertips, reach them over your right shoulder, look over your right shoulder, there we go. And then one more time, we're gonna cartwheel our arms around, drop it back into chair. Take one more deep inhale here. And this time, as you exhale, you just straighten your legs and drop your hands back down to forward fold. Right? Now, once you're in your forward fold, you're gonna keep your left foot forward. Step your right foot way back and you come to your runner's lunge. Left knee over left ankle. You want that right leg nice and long because we're gonna drop down to that right knee and flatten the right foot. I want my right knee back behind my right hip, right? You don't want to end up here where you've got your right knee right over your right hip. Going back. So you feel that opening and you're not right on your kneecap. Makes everything that we're gonna do from this kneeling position a little bit easier, all right? So let's inhale, rise up into our kneeling crescent. Just peel your upper body up, keep that left knee over the left ankle, reach your hands up to the sky. And then from there, drop them into cactus arms. Elbows even with the shoulders, pulling the shoulder blades together. Now we lean back, right? You're trying to keep that left knee over the left ankle. Just take your upper body and lean back. You should feel that stretch in your hip flexors. Plus you feel it in your back because you do the back bend. Right, we're gonna inhale, come back up, reach your arms up high. And then this time, as you exhale, push your left leg all the way straight. Drop your hands on either side of the left leg. Drape that upper body over your left thigh. Square your hips off here, right? Push that left hip forward. Draw that right hip back. So you're in this half pyramid. Take a breath here. So you feel the stretch in your left hamstring. And then we're going to bring it back forward, bend back into that left knee. Okay, bring your hands on either side of your left foot. Tuck your right toes under. Come up off your right knee. You can drop your heel here if you want to, or keep it up. Plant that right hand to the inside of your left foot. Take your left hand up to the sky. So you're just in your basic twisted lunge here. Stacking your shoulders, opening your chest towards the left side of the room. Now, everybody's going to drop that right heel here. Let your left hand come down to the ground so your right toes are pointed to the right. And then we just peel up into warrior one. Keep bend in your left knee. Now we're coming to eagle arms again once we get to our warrior one. Right, this time you take your arms out to a T. The right arm goes underneath the left as they cross in front of you. And again, your eagle arms could just be grabbing opposite shoulders. Your eagle arms could be palm to palm. Your eagle arms could be back of palm to back of palm. Right, wherever you are with those eagle arms. Now you're going to push your left leg all the way straight. Pull the elbows up and away from your body and lean back into your back bend. And from there, bend deeply into your left knee. Drop your left shoulder towards the inside of your left knee, keeping those eagle arms. For now, letting your head go, look back at your right toes. If you don't get that left shoulder all the way to the inside of your knee, it's fine, right? It's hovering above the left knee. The only thing I don't want you to do is rest that left shoulder on the left knee, right? It's coming to the inside or it's hovering above. All right, now you're gonna release your hands. They just come inside your left foot. Unwind them, and then push your left leg all the way straight. Turn your left toes towards the right edge of your mat, and then come to your wide forward fold here, facing the right side of the room. This time we're gonna plant that left hand right in the center of the mat. Take your right hand up to the sky. Twisting. And then let that right hand float down. Now we walk it back towards our left toes. Turn the left toes forward, bend into that left knee. Keep your right heel down. We're gonna rise up here. As you start to rise up, take your left hand, wrap it behind your back. Take your right hand, reach it up and over your left shoulder. So you're in this revolve reverse here, right? But you're nice and stable. You've got that heel down. You're just spiraling that chest to the left. All All right, and then from here, we're gonna come to our pyramid. So you unwind your hands, push your left leg straight, and then just dive straight down over that left leg. Now, if you need to step that right foot closer in to make this easier, do that, right? You want that right leg and that left leg to be straight. You want both heels on the ground. Let yourself feel the stretch. All right, now we're gonna lift up halfway here, right? Pull your shoulders in with your hips. Your hands are dangling. You wanna bring your hands behind your back here. And maybe all you do is interlace them when they rest on your low back, right? Maybe you can grab opposite elbows. Maybe you can come to that full reverse namaste where you bring your palms together and rest them between your shoulder blades. Once you've found a place for your hands, see if you can fold back down into your pyramid, right? It's a balance challenge. Once you're all the way back down, then you just release your hands, bring them back on either side of your left foot. And then turn those right toes forward, look up, and just step your right foot forward, meet your left. You're back here in forward fold. Right now, as we get to the forward fold, toe heel your feet out wide to the edges of your mat. And then bend your knees, drop your hips. All right, so we're here in this Malasana. Now I sit down on the block, right? It makes it a little bit easier. You can stay on the block, right? If the squat's good for you without the block, then you're there. If you don't have a block, or you hate it with or without the block, then come all the way down to bound ankle. You can let your glutes come to the ground and bring the soles of the feet together like where we were before. Right? Letting those elbows open your hips. It's up to you. What feels good, right? I want you to feel good here. I want you to be comfortable so that you can reconnect with your breath. Close your eyes. Notice if you still have that full focus on your breath. Notice if you still have full control of your breath. If you lost either of those things while we were flowing, we're going to get it back here. Slow your breaths again. Lengthen them again. Deepen them again. Take 3 more breaths. And then eventually, we're all going to come down to our glutes, right? And you're going to extend your legs. No, don't extend your legs. Stay in hook line right now. All right, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your left hand. Now you can take your peace fingers, that's your pointer finger and your middle finger, hook it around your right big toe, or you can grab with your whole hand the inside arch of your right foot, right? Whatever feels better to you. Right, and you're going to take that right leg, kick it up to the sky, like this. Now, your left leg is going to extend long, so you're right here. Now, if you can, right, really flex into that left foot, see if you can kind of lean back and lift that left foot up off the ground. And then from there, maybe you can take your right hand, reach it back behind you. So your left heel's off the ground, your right hand's off the ground, nothing's on the ground except your glutes, you're balancing. Right? You can always let that heel come down or that hand come down if you need to. Turn sideways here for a second so you can see. Keep holding. I know. Take 2 more breaths. And then bend back into your left knee. Put your left foot back on the ground. Let your right hand come down. And then put your right foot back down. Push your belly up to your thighs. Hug both hands around your shins and tuck your chin to your chest so that your forehead comes towards your knees. All right, and then look up. We're going to try to do that on the other side. So this time, you're taking the peace fingers on your right hand, your middle finger and your pointer finger, hook them around that left big toe, or you can just grab with your whole hand the inside arch of your left foot, right? Kick that left leg up to the sky as much as you can, right? And then from there, take your right leg,
extend it all the way long. Right now, take your left hand back behind you and just brace, right? And then really flex into that right foot. Bring the toes back towards your face. See if you can lean back and lift that right heel up off the ground. Once you're there, you're gonna take that left hand, reach it back behind you. Oh. And now we're just holding here if you need to. That heel comes down or that hand comes down. You can get them both up, get them both up. 3 more breaths here. And then let that right heel come down, let that left hand come down, and bend back into the right foot. Now, you're gonna push yourself up here. Now we're gonna extend the right leg long, so both legs are just extended long in front of you. Take your hands up to the sky, reach up high, and just come into a basic forward fold. Turn your palms towards your feet. Let your belly come over your thighs. You wanna keep your biceps by your ears as long as you can, right? When they're not gonna stay anymore, that's when you let your hands relax. Maybe they grab your feet, maybe they're on your ankles, or your shins or your knees, right? Once you're there, then you can use your breath to get yourself a little deeper into the pose. Inhale, lengthen out your spine, maybe lift your chest slightly. And then as you exhale, you can walk those hands a little further forward. So if you do that a couple times, you inhale, lengthen, exhale, pull deeper. Helps you get you that extra millimeter or two into the pose. That's what we're looking for here, right? Your legs don't have to be perfectly straight. You can put a little bend in your knees if that makes it better. You don't want to feel this in your low back, right? You want to feel it in your hamstrings. If it's screaming at you right here, right? You're trying to push your body forward too much for your hamstrings to handle, and your back's kicking in to do the work. We don't want that, right? You just got to bend your knees a whole lot to take it out of your back. That's what you should do here, right? So you find your spot, take 4 more breaths. All right, and then from here, we're slowly gonna peel it back up. As we come all the way back up here, you're gonna come around. We're gonna come back to our belly, right? So swing your legs around behind you so that your head's to the top of the mat. And then we're gonna come to sphinx. So as you bring it to your belly, right? You're just gonna take your elbows to the mat and then push up so that your shoulders are right over your elbows. Your hands are in front of you, right? Your fingertips are reaching towards the top of the mat. Right, so you should feel this little pull in your low back, right? If it feels like too much, then you move the elbows a little bit further. If they're not right underneath your shoulders, more of your belly comes to the mat, right? That's to modify and make it a little less sensation. If you need more, if you're not feeling anything in your back, right, then you press into those palms, straighten your arms, and lift your chest up. That's seal pose. Some of you need that. I don't, right? It's way too much for me, so I say regular sphinx. But that's where you go if you need more, all right? Let's take 4 more breaths here. One more breath. And then from there, let your forehead come all the way down to the mat. Slide your hands back by your chest and push yourself back into child's pose. Let your knees be super wide, if they can be. Can't see from here. Right, I took my knees wide, my feet together, and then your belly just drops between your knees as your head comes to the mat. If that doesn't feel good, maybe you bring your knees all the way together and let your belly rest on top. Right, you decide what's more comfortable to you. All right, when we're ready, we're gonna come back up into a tabletop, right? And then from tabletop, we're gonna come either into deer or to pigeon, right? It's your choice. Either way, you're gonna slide that right knee forward to your right wrist, and then start to walk those right toes over to the left side of your mat. Right, now, here's where the choice is, right? If you're coming into pigeon, I'm trying to move my hand out of the way so you can see, I start to move my left hip back so that I can drop it. So I'm toeing my knee back so I can drop my left hip towards my right heel, right? Bring my hands inside my right knee so my right hip's off the ground. Come here and then maybe fold it all the way down. If that feels like too much, right? you let that right hip come all the way to the ground, and then you bend into the left knee, pull the left knee against the sole of the right foot. So you're in the shin box pose. Bring your hands in front of your right shin here and walk it forward. Right? Either way, it's good. So whether you're in full pigeon or you're in deer, take a few breaths here. You should feel some sensation going on in your right hip. Right? That's how you know you're doing it right. All right, now from here, bring it back up to your palms, wherever you are, right? And if you're in pigeon, like I am, right, like most of you in the studio are, we're gonna switch it now into that deer position. So you're gonna let your right hip come all the way to the ground. Bend into that left knee, pull it against your thigh. Now from here, once we're all in deer position, right, we're gonna bring our hands around, so they're gonna come outside the right thigh. So you want your hands in between your right knee and your right hip. Let your torso turn towards the right side of the room, and then walk it out. Here, coming into your twisted deer. So maybe all you do is walk out with your hands. Maybe you can drop down to your forearms, right? Maybe you can get it all the way down to your chest and your head, right? For most people, it's easier to go a little deeper down with the torso in twisted deer than in regular deer or pigeon, right? So if you can go a little further down, go for it. Let's take 3 more breaths here. All right, now when you're ready here, come back up. And then you're going to turn your torso back around towards the front of the room, right? And then we're going to make our way back into tabletop from here, right? So come back into your tabletop. Once you're in tabletop, you want to move that right leg around a little bit, right? Maybe you just want to press it back behind you, press that heel, right? Maybe you want to do some fire hydrant circles. If you want to do something from down dog, you can, right? Just make sure you got all that blood flow back in that right leg. Right, I like to press it, drop it, press it, drop it. Right, eventually, we're all gonna meet back here in our tabletop, and we're gonna do all that on the other side. Right, so you're gonna take your left knee, slide it up to your left wrist, and then start to walk those left toes across towards the right edge of your mat. Again, if you're coming to full pigeon, you tuck those right toes under so you can lift that right knee, and then you start to move it back until your right hip drops towards your left heel, right? Push yourself up. Come down as low as you want to in your pigeon. If you want to stay in deer, right, then you're letting that left hip come all the way to the ground, bending into your right knee, pulling against the sole of your left foot, and then walking forward. Here. Right, so find your spot. You can be in pigeon, you can be in deer. What feels good to you? You can stay up on your palms and come down to your forearms. Maybe you take it all the way down to your chest in either of those poses. Trying to get that sensation going in the left hip, right? That's our goal here. As long as you've got that going on, you're doing the right thing. Now when you're ready here, everybody's gonna come back up to their palms, right? And if you're not in deer already, we're gonna turn it into that deer. So you're gonna let your left hip come down and pull that right knee in against the sole of your left foot. And now we're gonna take our twist. So bring your hands over outside your left thigh, right? So between your left knee and your left hip, and just move it over here so you guys can still see me on camera as I come down. We're twisting to the left, and then just start to walk it out. Maybe your hands just walk out a little bit, and that's as deep as you go. Maybe you can get it down to your forearms. Maybe you can lay down on your chest here. This is about the twist. It's less about the hips, right? So most of us have a little more space here in the twist than we do in the fold. Ready here. Bring it back up to your palms, right? And we're gonna take it around, back in a tabletop just for a couple breaths so you can move that left leg around a little bit, right? And again, maybe you just extend it long behind you. Maybe you're doing those fire hydrant circles. Just make sure that left leg feels good again, right? And then when you're ready, you're gonna drop it back down into tabletop. Now from tabletop, we're gonna let our hips come to one side or the other. You're gonna come back into that hook line position with your feet on the ground and your knees up to the sky, and we're gonna lay down on our back, right? So reach your arms out long, like we did the sun salutation, tuck your chin, roll it all the way down to your back. Now once you're down here on your back, right, you're gonna take your arms out to a T position, move your feet a little bit wider so your pinky toes are lined up with the edges of your mat. Do a couple windshield wipers each way, let your knees fall to the right, pull back to the center, drop to the left, and just go back and forth, back and forth. Feel good. And then bring your knees back to center here. Now as your knees come back to center, you're gonna bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall out to the sides. Just come back into that bound ankle position. This time we're doing a reclining bound ankle. You can keep your arms out to a T if this feels good. Maybe you sweep them to your sides or rest them on your belly. Maybe you take your hands and push on your inner thighs, your knees, open up those legs a little more. Maybe you take your arms, reach them overhead, open up your upper body a little more. Whatever feels good to you. You want more sensation in your legs always, right? You can walk those heels closer to your body. If you need to back it off, push your legs further away. All right, now from here, you're gonna pull your knees back up to center. Right, bring your feet hip width distance apart, knees right over the ankles. Point your toes towards the front of the room and your knees up to the sky. Take your hands to your sides, palms face down. We're gonna come up into another bridge here. So you're gonna press to the four corners of your feet, lift your hips up to the sky. This time we're gonna stay in bridge for a few breaths. If you want to, you can take your block and slide it under your hips, make it a supported bridge. If you don't have a block, you're just gonna stand supported, right? You're using that strength in your legs, engage your quads, engage your glutes, pushing those hips up to the sky on your own, right? You can do unsupported bridge, even if you do have a block. If you just like it better, it's fine. Either way, you're gonna tuck your shoulders slightly so your chest is puffing up towards the ceiling.
higher we push our hips, whether it's with the strength of the legs or with the leverage of the block, the more we're going to increase the flexibility of the back, right? So I'm using the block, I just bumped it up a level. I went from its lowest level to its medium level. So now my hips are a little bit higher. Even though I'm being lazy and taking the supported bridge today, get a little extra oomph. Push those hips a little higher. All right, take 3 more breaths here. And when you're ready, if you've got that block under your hips, slide that block out from under you, and everybody's going to let their hips come down to the mat. All right, now we're going to come to waterfall from here. In waterfall, our feet go straight up to the sky. We flex our feet like we're going to step on the ceiling. And this is just a great inversion here. This is level 1. You can stay right here if you want to, right? You want to make it a little more intense. Level 2, you take a block and put it underneath your hips. And then your hips are just a little more elevated. That makes this one slightly more intense when you've got the block under your hips. Right, now you can make it more intense still. If you don't have a block, you need more intensity, or if you just need more intensity than your regular supported waterfall, then you can come all the way to shoulder stand. You lift your hips up on your own. Put your hands the small of your back. So now you're supporting yourself on your shoulders and your forearms. All right, so you can be here in shoulder stand. You can be in supported bridge, supported waterfall with the block, or you can be in regular waterfall with your hips just on the ground. Either way, in waterfall, your feet are flexed, like you're going to step on the ceiling. If you're in shoulder stand, your feet are kind of half flexed, half pointed. Right? We're getting the blood to go from the feet where it pools all day back to the head and the heart where we need it more. That's important. An increase in our circulation. Other good things happen when we get upside down as well. Right? We naturally lower the blood pressure. We flood the body with all those anti-aging, anti-stress hormones. We reset our circadian rhythm, our sleep cycle. Take 3 more breaths here. And when we're ready to come out of it, we're all going to come out of it the same way. Bend your knees, and I'm scrape along your face and body. Slowly drop your feet back down to the mat. Right now, as our feet come back down to the mat, you still have a block under your hips. Now everybody's going to take that block out and let our hips be flat on the mat. And we're going to come to Happy Baby. Take your feet up to the sky again. Separate them. Separate your feet, maybe slightly or maybe a lot. Bend your knees, maybe slightly or maybe a lot. All that's up to you. Reach up for your same foot with your same hand. You're not grabbing the foot, grab the ankle, the shin, the knee. Just make that connection somewhere. And then once you've made it, roll forward a little bit so you feel that take on the low part of your back. Press into the mat. Then we can start to take that rock from side to side. It should feel good. It's not feeling great to do the rock. Maybe you just want to stay still today because you do want this pose to feel great, right? It is our happy part of the practice. Make it feel good. Maybe that means now that you're in it, you want to change your leg position. Your legs can be wider or straighter or bent more, right? Brought in more. Find where it feels really, really great to you. Hang out there for a few more breaths. All right, last thing here, you're going to take your knees, hug them into your chest, and then let your arms go out long, like wings, in a T position. And as you exhale, drop your knees to the right. Take your chin and your gaze to the left. Inhale, bring your knees back up the center here. Exhale, drop your knees to the left, look to the right. Inhale, bring your knees back up to center. One final hug into your chest. And now let's set up for our final pose, our Shavasana. Let your legs go long, take your hands to your sides. If this flat on your back position is not comfortable to you, you can find somewhere else to go, right? Maybe you want to butterfly your legs again like we did, that bound ankle. Maybe you want to bend your knees. I'm going to come around for those of you that are in the studio. If you have a towel, I'll spray it for you. You know, where you're going. We'll sea salt spray. If you're at home and you have a towel or something that you put over your eyes, do that. Okay, got it. Close your eyes. Let your breath take you to that quiet mind, right? You don't have to control your breath here anymore. Let your breath go. Let your breath do what it wants to do. But even as you release control of your breath, keep that full focus on your breath. Master that. Keep that full focus on the breath, even as you release control of the breath. It'll take you right to a place. Your breath will take you right to a place. There's nothing left in your mind but you and your breath. That's your true quiet of mind. Now slowly start to come back into the room. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, feeling that increased sensation that comes with the quiet mind. If you want to here, you can take your arms overhead, do a nice full, deep body stretch. From there, just let yourself roll over onto your right side in a fetal position. Take a couple breaths right there, just to reacclimate to our space, the sights and the sounds, and then come back to you. Take as long as you need right here. But then when you're ready, only when you're ready, push yourself up to seated. And we will close here. All right, so we're going to close just with our 2 Mari breaths and then an Om. The Mari breath, we inhale as we exhale, make a little humming sound in the back of the throat. The Om is the universal syllable, uses all parts of the throat. You can join me in these breaths, or you can just listen. But let's close our eyes here. We'll inhale together.
inhale one final time and Let your eyes drift open. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank you, all of you, for sharing your energy, your practice with me this morning. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. All right. So I will see you all on Wednesday night for some yin, right? Liz will be here tomorrow morning for some payo, so come join her for that. Heidi's here tomorrow night for more gentle if you need that. Otherwise, I'll see you on Wednesday for yin. Have a great week.